I feel like there's maybe three big themes for the record. The one being the obvious one, which is just what it literally says. It's a record full of songs about myself and my friends and where we are in our lives as people, as individuals, and as a band, what we've been doing. That's the most obvious one. What I want to talk today about, and that's where a song like Baby Davis or Incline Western Civilization, they come into it because it's that group of people, it's that person, that really specific, insignificant kind of thing set against a larger backdrop. You know, the idea that it's about personal empowerment, as in not wanting to accept that those things are insignificant, no matter what else tells you that they are. It might be that, you know, the ideas of class and money. It's the politics, and we're completely in the middle of that, just getting barraged from both sides, right? We lucky folks here in a swing state during this election.
In case, I think you may have noticed that Senator Obama's supporters have been saying some pretty nasty things about Western Pennsylvania lately. And you know, I couldn't agree with them more. I couldn't disagree with you. I couldn't agree with you more than the fact that Western Pennsylvania is the most patriotic, most God-loving, most patriotic part of America, and this is a great part of the country.
It's everything that tries to take away that individuality, that tries to take away that sense of self. When we say, you know, that we are still at war, that's a really specific, you know, statement. At the same time, it's supposed to be a bigger idea that war is you yourself, the personal, individual thing, fighting back from being swept underneath the rug, from being just rolled over by all these things that are supposed to be more important. You know, how important is what you think of your city, you know, in the long run? How important is the art space 709 that we opened up? You know, what does that matter to the grand scale of things? There's so many things that make us feel like that those things aren't supposed to be important. And so when we say, you know, that's what this war is, it's pushing back against that by being able to, you know, sort of try to see the bigger picture. And I hope that helps. There are songs on it, like the first song on it, you know, that I'm not trying to answer any of those questions. I'm not trying to say how you win that war, you know. I don't think you can. I don't think it's a war that you can win. But I do believe that it's a war that you can keep from losing. And I think that the key is that if you're just aware of the fact that you're in it, if you wake up in the morning and make those decisions, that's what, every morning you wake up and decide that what's important to you is going to stay important, even if it means that you're not doing, you know, status quo kind of things. But you don't believe what one side or the other tells you you're supposed to. The first song on it's sort of talking about that maybe you can do that with just like a personal revolution, just with, you know, introspection, knowing what you do believe. The first song talks about that. But you know, I don't know the way to do that. I don't know the way to fight back. I don't know if it's that. I don't know if it's just like anger and just ranting and raving, like in a song like The Market, you know, which is sort of about the whole system trying to churn people out, right? Grind them up, as it was. I don't know an answer to, you know, gender bias or the ideas of other people's ideas of success that you're supposed to adhere to, like in a song like Unsafe at Any Speed. That's what that's about. I don't really have the answers to that, but I know that I think that if you keep asking questions about it, then you're at least aware of the fact that you're still in that war. And that's what
that place inside that rolls its eyes. I've heard it all before, but right now we need to hear it even more until we find a cure for that place inside that says inside will always be this way. Right now we need to hold it to the flames. We are all to blame for that space inside that steps inside to someone else's goals. Right now we need a brand new set of rules inside the soul. That place inside, what's up? Can't take it anymore. Right now we need it like we never had before.
If it's just, one guy or one group of people and what they think, which could be insignificant to everything else, when it's up against the backdrop of the rest of the world that it's supposed to be in, that's the war, right? It's called We're Still at War. That's the war. It's the war between whether this stuff really is important and no one knows when it started, of course. It's not like there's a grand conspiracy out there to nobody pulling the strings or anything. Everybody's in the same boat. Even though this isn't a war that you could feasibly win, it's definitely one that you don't have to lose. It's not about rising to the top, or being important. It's just about not being shoved under the rug along with everything else. So this record deals pretty much with that, and more specifically, asking how do you fight that?